Hi team, hope you're doing good. We'll be starting up with the Power BI program. This is Dhruv Singh this side. I'll be helping you with your Power BI needs in the coming 4 days of the training program. Other than that, if you have any questions, you can drop it in the chat itself. Any questions, any doubt, feel free to ask in the chat, okay? Thank you. I'll be just sharing my screen. Just give me a confirmation when you're able to see it. You can drop it in the chat itself. I hope my screen is visible to all. Thank you. So we'll be starting off with the Power BI tool. We'll be presenting some PPTs, then we'll go forward, okay? So Power BI has been termed as PL. So this particular content that you are looking at is DA100 certified, okay? One second. I'll be resharing the screen, one second. Yeah. So I was saying that this particular content is DA100 certified. Now DA100 has been changed to PL300. That is this particular certification exam that is given by Microsoft. Okay. So we are in compliance to DA100. Everything that will be taught are under Microsoft certification program. You can appear for those programs post this training program. Okay. Talking about Power BI, when you study this particular training program, you are qualifying for a post of data analyst. Okay. What happens is data analyst is a term that has evolved with time, right? Before, when you were studying any visualization term or any visualization tool, you were always termed to as a report developer. So Tableau, there were times when Tableau was at height, right? People were termed as report developer, but this term has evolved over time. Now the data analyst is a person who is not limited towards designing reports, okay? He can pull data, he can scale the models, clean the data, okay? He can enable advanced visualization techniques, okay? And also can work on this particular part, okay? Talking about data analyst roles in detail, data analyst is a person who will be connecting through various different sources, okay? He'll be connecting through various different sources, cleaning and transforming the data, okay? Building meaningful business operations, okay? Now understand, a data analyst is not a person who is just limited to the IT side, okay? He also understands the business, okay? He tries to give reports which are equivalent to the business model of the particular firm he is working, okay? He can also uh, have or suggest the client as per his data what are the best techniques to use to get better sales or all better performance, okay? So he's a person who has good understanding of business, okay? He can deliver good reports as per the business requirement, arranging all the data needs. Also, he has a fundamental understanding of data repositories, okay? He knows what is on-premise data, what is cloud data, and how to connect with them successively, okay? That is the role of a data analyst. Don't worry, we will go in detail in all these terminologies. I'm just giving the overview right now, okay? We'll go further. So about this course, these are the modules. If you see, we'll be identifying the different sources and how to connect with them. Okay. Optimizing query performance, profiling and examining data along with data transformation. Okay. How to build a model. Okay. Using DAX and calculated columns in order to create proper tables. Okay. Use of variables, aggregations. Okay. Optimizing model performance, designing and creating visualized reports. Okay. We'll be also looking into advanced analytical techniques, managing dataset and refresh, workspaces, row level security. Whatever time permits in this training program, we'll be looking into everything on the particular procedures. Okay. This particular program you can see these are the modules. We'll be looking into most of the modules mentioned in this particular thing. Okay. Don't worry on the modules. This is just an overview. We'll see them in detail. So you don't need to memorize anything for now. Now, these are the, if you're looking for DA100, which has been now revised as PL300, this is a certification exam from Microsoft. Okay. If you are looking into something like that, the training program normally has, so normally DA100 has 20 to 25% weightage on preparing the data, 25 to 30% on modeling the data, 20 to 25% on visualizing the data. Analyzing the data comes to 10 to 15%, and deploying and maintaining deliverables come to 10 to 15. So this is the weightage given to every topic in the exam. Okay, this is what the weightage structure is like. Okay, if you go through the program right now, you will be able to qualify because we will be meeting the weightage needs of the DA100. Okay. Now what I'll be doing is I'll be guiding you how to download the Power BI tool. Okay. So we'll open our desktop. You can search over here, Power BI download. Over here, you'll get a Microsoft link. Okay. You can open this particular Microsoft link. I'll be also passing this link on the chat so that you guys can use it. One second, guys. So over here, you have an option called download. Okay. In this particular option, you have to click on download. There are two available versions. Okay. If your PC is comparatively new, like around 3 years, okay, you can use the x64 version. Okay. If your PC is a bit old, you can go for the lower version. Okay. I'll just pass this link on the chat also so that you guys can use it. This is the download link for Power BI. Okay. You can just download it later because your bandwidth may be compromised. Okay. We have seen the introduction part. We'll see another PPT, then we'll jump to the application of Power BI. Okay. So now what is happening is we are putting data, like we are pulling data from different sources and we are transforming it. Okay. We are transforming it. By transforming, we mean we are cleaning this. See, we don't expect the data to be in the cleanest manner, right? When it's coming from different sources, we need to do pre-preparation of data. There has to be some sort of processing of data so that we can create proper meaningful visualizations out of it. Okay. So data coming from different sources cleaned inside the Power Query. So Power Query is a module or the ETL part of Power BI. We'll see that in detail. That is responsible for cleaning of data. Okay. If you could see over here, we are having an overview of data analysis. See, data analysis in itself is an art of storytelling. Okay. If I say data analysis is an art of storytelling. So when you tell the story of a data, it should have some sort of category. So we have defined 5 categories over here. Data analysis should be descriptive. Okay. By descriptive, we mean it should be in a detailed manner. Okay. So when you create a report for the client, it should show the particular modules of the company in a descriptive manner. Okay. It should try to cover all the points that are concerning that particular client. Okay. It should be diagnostic. By diagnostic, we mean it should be able to tell you the problems of the company. When you see the report, it should show the clear images of those problems. Okay. The problem that particular company is facing. Okay. Rather it be fall of sales, rather it be fall of company performance, anything. It should diagnose those problems and show a clear picture of it. Okay. It should be predictive. Predictive by predictive we mean, so it should be able to tell you the coming forecome like force. So forecasting should be there. Okay. It should be able to tell you the coming instances. Okay. So when you see a particular report, it can show you if your particular chart is showing a downfall, you may experience it in the coming time more, right? So you need to revamp your sales. You need to increase your performance, efficiency, so that your sales goes up. Okay. Same way, if your particular product sales is reducing with time, right? It is showing you a particular thing, right? If you don't like, if I tend to increase the price of product and past 12 to 14 months, the sales is going down, right? What is that line chart trying to show me? That line chart is saying if you don't revise the pricing policy of the particular product, you may need to shut them or it may need to losses, right? It is trying to predict the losses, okay? So that you get alarmed and try to take the best possible decision. We as data analysts don't take decision. We show the best possible analysis so that the end user can take decision. Okay. After predictive, it comes prescriptive. So prescriptive, by prescriptive we mean, so just imagine in last year around January to April, my sales went down. Okay, due to some sort of weather changes or changes in sort of market pattern, right? This time my particular product that I'm producing has a lower demand. So if from past 5 years I'm facing the same thing, this year I should arrange for lower productions, right? Because every time I'm producing in huge volumes and suffering a lot amount of loss. Okay. So all these prescriptive measures need to be taken, analyzing the report. So your report should tell you what prescriptive measures to take. If your losses are going down due to like external factors, you can try to reduce the quantity. Okay. Next thing is cognitive. By cognitive, we mean that your report should ask questions. Okay. When you see the report for the first time, it should be asking questions to you. Okay. It should be something that it is asking questions again and again. It should have the ability to ask. So when you see a report, it should not be something which is very simplified. It should be complicated. It should be like asking complicated questions. That is the reason the client will be able to brainstorm himself and bring a better performance. Okay. That is how we raise the 5 categories of data analysis. Okay. Now we'll go further. Any questions, any doubt you can ask, no problem. Now roles in data. Okay. These are some terminologies of people who will be surrounding you in the coming time. Currently, I had told very clearly that you are appearing for data analyst position. Okay. Now, what is this business analyst, data engineer, data scientist, and data administrator? So we'll see their roles in detail. A business analyst is a person who will be in direct contact with the business holder. Okay. He has a good command on business. He understands the business problems. He and also has a decent knowledge about visualization too. Okay. He is the bridge between business needs and the IT needs. Okay. Business needs and the data analytics need. Okay. He takes the requirement, converts them into an architecture and present it to data analyst. A data analyst is a person who has a detailed info. Okay. He has a detailed info about business tools. Okay. He has better info, deep down approach of it. So he will be seeing the requirement brought by business analyst and try to arrange accordingly or tell them whether it's possible or not in the first hand and accordingly arrange the requirement and visualization. Okay. Next comes a data engineer. A data engineer is on a data level. Okay. He arranges the data, he loads the data. Okay. He also has the possibility, so he'll be arranging for loading of the data. He works on SQL, SSIS, and has a faint knowledge about visualization tool also. Okay, that is a data engineer. On the other hand, data scientist is a person who is completely different in the domain. Okay, he's working on machine learning, he's working on artificial intelligence, he's looking into Python, trying to find the forecasting and all these terms. Okay, so he solves the bigger problem. He takes the data, applies artificial intelligence, and performs bigger operations. Okay, that is a data scientist. Okay, database administrator is someone which every person will need. Okay, he's a person that every person will be needed. Okay, He'll be arranging for access, he'll be arranging for passwords, everything for the business analyst, data analyst. He'll be managing the pipeline, he'll be managing all the access, security, everything is under database admin. Okay. So database admin is something that is a permanent or required position in every company. Okay. Now we'll go further. Now, as we had discussed before also, these are the tasks of a data analyst. A data analyst is a person who will prepare a report, okay, model it, visualize it, okay, analyze and manage it. So he will be doing this process. This life cycle is never ending. Okay. Modeling, visualizing, analyzing, managing, and again starting with new report requirements, and again preparing, modeling, visualization. So this keeps on happening with new demands coming up. Okay. These are the standard task of data analyst. Okay. Now, as you can see over here in Power BI, we are loading data from different sources, right? And creating some sort of reports over here at the right hand corner. Okay. Loading data from different sources and in the Power BI tool and creating some sort of reports over here. Now, if you see the use case of Power BI, we have different use case. Okay. We have Power BI desktop, Power BI services, and Power BI mobile. Okay. Power BI desktop is where the main work is happening. Okay. So all the development things, all the things that so a data analyst or a Power BI developer will be working at Power BI desktop, creating reports, cleaning it, modeling it, writing measures on it. Okay. While Power BI services is where the end user, where the client see. See, client doesn't need to download a Power BI desktop in order to see the report. Report will be published on services account and he will be seeing it. Okay. So client will just log in into an online cloud account and will be able to see the reports. Okay. Link of the report can be shared or access can be given. That is something that we'll see in the later parts. Okay. The third is Power BI mobile. If you want to create some report for the go on the go, right? If the client wants to analyze those report on the mobile app, then we have a Power BI mobile also available. So these are the three platforms on which Power BI is currently operating. Okay. Building blocks of Power BI. So we have a Power BI services account. We'll see these things in detail. So don't worry. Power Query. Power Query is something that is shared with Excel. Then we have Power BI desktop, and this is dashboard. Okay. We'll see all of these things in detail. So don't worry. Now what? Let's jump to the Power BI tool itself. Okay. Let's jump to it and see how does it work. Okay. This is our tool, Power BI desktop. We'll open it. The deliverables that are required for the training program, I'll be sharing it on the chat itself. So there is one data file that we are using for now that I'll share you. Other than that, everything will be uploaded in the LMS itself post the program, so you don't need to worry. There is one Excel file that we'll be using, so I'll just share it across. This is the doc file of the Excel that we'll be loading in this thing. Okay. We'll come to that later. First, we'll see the view of the Power BI app. So this is your typical Power BI app. At the right hand corner, you have all the visualizations that are available. This is the fields option that will turn on as soon as you load the data. Okay. At the left hand side, we have three views. Okay. One is report view. The other one is data view. And the third one is model view. So all the modeling of data will happen over here. In the data view, we'll see the data. Okay. And in the report view, we'll be dropping the visualizations itself. Okay. Now what next? Let's load some data. So we'll be loading an Excel workbook from now. Okay. So we'll click on this part over here. We have an option to import an Excel workbook. So we'll click on this. In my desktop, I have a worksheet, Excel worksheet available in the name of Sample Superstore. Okay, I'll open it. I'll also show you before loading what is this Excel worksheet actually like. So I'll open it in my desktop account and I'll show you. So actually this Excel worksheet is having three sheets in it: order, return, and people. Okay, these are the three sheets that are available: order, return, and people. We'll see these sheets in detail in the Power BI itself. Okay, I just wanted to show you how a typical Excel workspace look like. Oh, 1 second, I'll just again load the data. So you can see over here, there's one order sheet showing up. Avoid this order filter database, that's not required. The third sheet is people, the second sheet is people, and third is return. So actually, this is like a navigator screen. Okay, this is a screen where you can see a preview of data that you're going to load. Okay, this is like a preview of data. Okay, we'll come back to this point later, but first I'll open my notepad before going further. Okay, I just want to discuss some points, then we'll go on further. Okay, we'll take a new sheet. So I don't know what are your understanding, but what do you understand by the term BI? Can anybody explain this? Like, what are your personal understanding by the term BI or business intelligence? Anybody? Is the chat enabled? Can you guys write it in the chat itself and tell me what is your basic understanding? It can be your English definition also for this term. Yeah, I get that. That's a full form. But what do you understand by the term? Like, what do you think in normal language business intelligence mean is my question. Anybody? Okay, study of data to enhance efficiency. That's what Priyansh has answered. Something that uses some intelligence to run business smoothly. Okay, Atishay Jain. Okay, no idea. Okay, analysis of business, the tool which is used to visualize the data. Okay, Ashutosh. Okay, thanks for the answers. What I'll do is, for this particular understanding of definition, I'll just give a real use case. Okay, so just take an example that I have one of my friends. Okay, he's investing in a toothpaste brand in India. Okay, now what happens is he says that you are a data analyst. Can you do a market research? Okay, and get me the particular condition of the market so that I can validate my particular investment. Okay, whether it's good to invest or not. Okay, just a second, guys. Yeah, so we were talking about, he'll be asking me because I, being a data analyst, will help him out, right? So what I'll do is, see, his company has still not started functioning, right? I will see his particular competitors. Okay, so his particular competitor for now is Colgate, right? Like a normal competitor in a toothpaste brand.
So we'll take any random toothpaste brand, Colgate for now. I have the 10 years data of Colgate. Okay. I have data for 10 years for Colgate. Now this 10 years data that I'm having, I'll perform analysis on this. Okay. I will study the market trend of Colgate. Okay. What mistakes they did in the past. Okay. Their advertisement policies. Okay. What are their target market? Okay. What region they are strong in, right? Uh, what other things? So I can just see what time of a year they have the least sales, right? So I'll see the best time to invest that we can say, because typically for me, the best time to invest is when the Colgate sales are down, right? That is what I think on my particular behalf. That is so these are some things that I'll be looking at. Okay. Now, once I perform this analysis, I present it to the particular friend, right? Now, he takes my analysis, okay, and takes business decision out of it, okay. Now, if I say I would have given him the 10 years data directly, okay, if I would have given him the raw data directly, would he be able to take any decision? No. What I did was I took that raw data, arranged it in a proper manner, and prepared meaningful visualization out of it, right? So I can say these visualization helped him understand the business better and take decisions. Okay. My understanding for BI can be termed as converting raw data into meaningful information, which helps to take business decision. Okay. That is the entire definition. I'm not saying any definitive analysis. I've just broken terms and made them together. So we can say the raw data that I picked, I converted into a meaningful info that was visualization, which tend to take business decisions. This is my particular definition of BI. Okay. Now, once you are solving the BI definition, we can say who is the data analyst. So if I say data analyst is a person in the middle, he is a person who is converting raw data into meaningful info. Okay. The process is called BI, and the person who does that is called a data analyst. Okay. Now, there is also one thing that Power BI itself is a Microsoft BI tool, right? It's a proprietary tool of Microsoft, right? Now they have also coined a term named SSBI for Power BI. Now, what does this SSBI mean? Actually, SSBI is a term given, so the full form of this term is Self Service. BI stands for Business Intelligence. I don't need to explain that. Now, what does that mean? Coming to this definition, first we'll come back and see the different sorts of process done by a data analyst. So if I say a data analyst, okay, what are the different sorts of process done on a daily basis or normal process that are expected from a data analyst? Okay, connecting, we have seen that many times, connecting from different sources, okay, and loading data. Post that, cleaning the data. See, before loading, he has to clean the data. Once he has cleaned the data, he can model the data. He has to create a sustainable data model also. Okay. Then he has to visualize it, right? right sort of DAX calculations on it in order to create some sort of calculations. He need to write DAX. Okay. Post that, he needs to publish that report to cloud. Okay. Manage security. There is some sort of security also applied to report which data analyst will look at. And also he has to manage the refresh of reports. See, client will operate on the most latest data, right? So that also he has to see refreshed for reports. We'll see these roles in detail, don't worry. But these are some pointers that are linked or are the roles of a data analyst. Okay. Now, what Power BI said is that for all these processes, you don't need to go anywhere. Okay. You don't need to go anywhere for all these processes. Now, what you need to do is you need to download one tool. We have created a one-stop solution that is Power BI. Okay. Now, what was happening is if you need to clean the data in Tableau, you need to download a separate tool called Tableau Prep. But Power BI said you don't need to download any third-party proprietary app extra than Power BI Desktop. All the given solution will be given by Power BI itself. So it has been termed as self-service BI. The business user need not to go anywhere. One tool is the solution for all the process that are related to data analyst needs. I hope this is making sense to you. So now we'll come back to the practical part back again. Currently, what we are doing is we have connected through the data source and we are trying to load it. Now, at the time of loading in the navigator screen, I have two options. One I said was load option. The other option that I'm having is transform data. I told that Power BI has a ETL tool, ETL, some sort of ETL tool, which helps us clean the data, which is Power Query. Power Query is something that is shared with Excel. Okay, Power Query is something which is shared with Excel. So what we'll do is we'll click on transform data. Okay. So as soon as I click on transform data, you will see that the cleaning of data will start. Okay. We won't load it. We'll click on transform. So we will be directed towards Power Query. Okay. From the Power BI, we'll go to Power Query. So Power Query is a tool that is imbibed in Power BI itself, which helps us clean the data. Okay. Some sort of cleaning is required in every data. Okay. So you need to do it, make sure that the data is clean, then only you load it in Power BI. So if you could see over here, we'll show you some simple cleaning first. So you can see returned and order ID, returned and order ID is shifted below. Technically, they should have been the header, but they are not the header right now. So what you'll do is you will click on use first row as header option. You will click on use first row as header. As soon as you do that, you will see returned and order ID have shifted up. Okay. Same way you'll go to people table, same problem, the headers are below. In the home option itself, you have an option called use first row as header. You will select it. Okay. As soon as you do that, your headers will be shifted at the top. Now, the main questions about the data is data needs to be cleaned before loading, right? You cannot. Also, you need to study the data, right? Currently, you don't know anything about the data. I don't expect you to start building reports out of it without having any knowledge about it, right? You don't currently you don't have any knowledge about this data. You don't know what is it about. You don't know what to do. So there are some standard steps that we like to do before interacting with the data. This part is called data study. You need to understand the data. Na? You need to understand the nerves of the data. So over here you have a view option. Okay. In the Power Query itself, you have a view option. See, column quality is something that you'll see by default turned on in my Power BI. You can also turn it on. It will help you understand if there is any error or empty in the data. Okay. The next thing that we'll take is column profiling. Okay. Column profiling is something that is very helpful. It will help me understand the data. See,
the user or the client has given you the responsibility to understand the data. So it's your responsibility that you convey the best sort of analysis or best sort of side of the report, okay, which he also couldn't imagine. So now, if you see over here, we have ship mode. When I click on ship mode, column profiling will show me that standard class is the most frequently. So it is just showing me the repetition of standard class is the most in the particular column. Nothing major, it's just showing you the repetition of ship mode. Okay. So it is showing the ship mode standard class is the most repeated ship mode. Somewhere or the other, I have to agree to this fact that ship mode is the standard class is the most popular ship mode, right? I'll just try to make a note of it that standard class is something that should be given an importance because it is a prominent ship mode. Same way, I can also make a note over here that same day, right? See, this column repetition doesn't mean that standard class may be the most profitable one. It could be a possibility. Many people are using it, but it may not be the most profitable one. Okay. But it is something that is most repeated 586 times, right? That is the most repeated means it is the most frequently used. That is something which I can draw out of it. Same way, same day is there, right? Same day is the least used. Even if there could be a possibility that same day may be so expensive that just by 17 usage, the total revenue would be more than standard class. Doesn't matter. Even if it is more profitable, I would request the client to give out ways so that this becomes more popular. Okay, so that we can have more profit. So we will show that these people are using less of same day. Okay, and people are using more standard class. So both aspects are important. The least aspect also and the highest aspect also. These types of small notes we'll be creating. Same way for segment, you can see in this particular column consumer segment is coming the most times 547, so it is the most frequently used customer frequently used segment, right? Home office is the least frequently used, right? All these things we can create a note so that in future we give proper preference to each segment. Okay, next thing that we are coming at is called customer name. Okay, in the customer name part you can see Tracy Blumston, right? Tracy Blumston is the most frequently coming customer, right? She has come around 1% of the entire data, which is 12 times, right? Maybe she must be doing only $10 of sale. Doesn't matter. She is a frequent customer. We need to give preference to her. Okay. Next thing, I have a question for you guys. Okay. So over here we have two things given: distinct and unique, right? I just want to know, you can put it in the chat itself also. What do you understand by distinct and unique count? What is your understanding for these two terms? You guys can put it in the chat, please. Go forward. Okay. Distinct, specific, distinct, repeated, unique, new ones. Okay. Priyansh has right. Nitrali, I've seen yours too. Nitrali, can you be more precise on this definition? Like you're talking to a layman sort of definition. How would you explain someone who doesn't have an understanding of IT? Anybody else who likes to try? Who would like to try? Okay. I guess nobody else is trying. So what I'll do is I'll take a notepad and explain this concept too. So we will understand distinct and unique count using this particular thing. Distinct, unique. Okay. We'll mention some name over here. Ram, Rajan, Hari, Salim, Dinesh. Now, in this particular data, I'll find the name of the people who are distinct. So we'll give the distinct count first and then the unique count. Distinct count means counting each repetition at least once. Okay. Counting each repetition at least once. So we'll count it like this. I'll count Ram, Rajan, Hari, Salim, Dinesh. Ram we will not count because it already has been repeated. Robert hasn't been repeated. Rajan. Rajan and Hari both have been repeated, so we won't count it. Salim has been repeated, won't count it. Joseph is new, so we'll count it. So distinct count is coming as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is our distinct count. Now, what is the unique count over here? Let's see the unique count. So has Joseph repeated? Unique counts only values which are not repeated in the data. So Joseph, Robert hasn't repeated. Dinesh hasn't repeated. Salim has repeated, we won't count it. Hari has repeated, won't count it. Rajan has repeated, won't count it. Same way Ram has repeated, we won't count it. That we won't count this also. So only thing that is remaining is Dinesh, Robert, and Joseph. These three people have not repeated. So we will mention them as unique count. Okay. This is the difference between distinct and unique. Unique counts only the people who are not repeated at all in the data, while distinct will count repetition at least once. Now I have a question for you guys. I own a departmental store. It's not a small departmental store, it is like a shopping complex. Okay. Now I say I own a big shopping complex, somewhat like a architecture of big bazaar, right? Now I have a question. Past 3 months, my distinct count has been my unique count has been huge. Is it good for the business or bad for the business? Bad. So if bad, what could be the reason, Mitrali? No problem. Whatever you think you can answer. Others also can answer. No need to hesitate. So many people have mentioned it as good. Could you also tell the definition, like tell the reason if you are good or bad every time you go? Okay, Netrali. The answer and the definition, okay, Aditi, because they are not repeating customers, maybe. No, I think if the distinct unique count is huge, it is repeating only. Yeah? People, okay, you mean they are not repeating. Okay, that's a point. That's a point, Aditi. Yeah, okay, I get that. So, as Aditi has mentioned the point, I'll also say that past 3 months, if my unique count is huge, means I'm getting new customers, but they don't tend to repeat. See, if it would have been 3 weeks, right? That's a small time, right? 3 weeks is all like equivalent to 1 month, right? That is okay for me. For 1 month, okay, I can understand. I've just opened up the departmental store or some sort of promotional event has been done, so my unique count is coming huge. But if my unique count is huge regularly, it means my older customer don't tend to repeat. See, if you don't go to Big Bazaar for 1 month, they will be giving you offer, they'll be offering you coupons, all these things, right? So what happens is they want you to revisit. That is the main thing. They want the customer to come again and again and make purchases. Okay. So that is the reason unique count for a long period of time, okay, is not considered good for the business. Okay. Not normal unique count, excessively huge unique count. Okay. This is one thing. Next thing I would like to ask you, I own a customer care business. Okay. I own a normal customer care business. Okay. In this, I am maintaining a customer care center for Airtel. Okay. I'm taking the grievances of people over there. Okay. Now I have a question over here. Now, if I'm taking the problems, grievances of the people, I would request, like, I would ask, is distinct count good over here? Okay. Priyanshi has mentioned, yes, it's good. Atisha Jain is saying it's not good. So can you guys give your particular reason? Why do you think yes or no? Okay, complaints are repeated. Now, if I have a question, if I say unique count is huge, then tell me. Okay, good. Yeah. So if my unique count is huge, means my customers are getting going back satisfied. If they revisit again and again, then my distinct count will go huge. But if my unique count is huge, means my customer visited once and didn't need to revisit because this problem got solved at once. Okay, that is the reason unique count is good for a customer based business. Okay, right, 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 Tanishka. Okay, so we'll go back again to the data itself. Now we saw a little bit about these terminologies. You saw we made analysis and made some notes. These are the preliminary things that you have to do. You cannot start building visuals from the first thing. You have to restrict yourself from building visuals first because that is, you have to be planned. There has to be a planned approach. So this is how you will first create notes about the data. Once you have created the notes about the data, now we'll come to again back to data. Now your main question is, Dhruv, what is this data actually about? Because you're not still clear what is this data all about. So what I can see from my preliminary observation, this seems like a e-commerce website data. Why? Order ID is mentioned, order date is mentioned, date of shipment is mentioned, mode of shipment is mentioned, customer ID details are mentioned, okay, along with segment, his postal codes, address, right? What products he is buying, sales, quantity, discount, and profit. All these things about the customer is mentioned in the order table. So in that order table, from order ID to order day, ship date, customer name, what sales, product bought, everything is mentioned. So this seems like a e-commerce website data. Okay, that is your orders table. The next table that we are having over here is our people table. People table is like a data sampling table. In this table, we are having the name of the people, okay, along with which region are these people belonging to. So actually, what has happened is they have picked four people belonging to separate region and kept it in the people table. See, we don't know why, we don't need to know why this has been done. Only thing that we need to do is we need to just know what is this table about. Okay. Why is not our question as data analyst. Okay. To tell us about the info, we take it. Okay. So people table is something that has been created for data sampling purpose in which they have picked every customer from a separate region. Okay, that is a people table. The third table that we are having is a returns table. Okay, in our returns table, we are having the order ID. Okay, order ID of the returns. Okay, so normally whatever orders are placed, see, this is a very basic principle that I like to tell, that order placed can only be returned. You'll say what normal thing, na? Everybody knows it. But this is also a very big thing. We'll use this statement in the coming day. So whatever order was returned was once placed is a fact. If you want to check also, na, you can pick any order ID. So if I pick this 11011805, okay, I want to check about the order details about this particular returned order. I'll copy this code. Okay, go to orders table. In the orders table, I'll go to order ID. Okay, over here we have a arrow, right? Here I'll search text filters. Okay, in the text filters, I'll say equals. Okay, click on equals over here, and the equals I'll mention the order ID that I had placed over. Okay, press OK. You'll get all the details about that order ID. So this order was placed by Sally. Okay, Sally Huxby. Corporate order, country United States. Okay. Same way, you can go to again back to returns, any other order you want to check. Okay, this is a random order that we have taken, right? We can copy the code, go to orders table. I just want to validate whether this thing is actually real or not, right? Again, go to the filter option over here, text filters equals, search over here, the particular order ID. That's okay. This was placed by Cynthia. Okay, that is how you can search about the orders from the return table. So we have validated somewhere our principle has been proved that order which got returned were once placed. And anything I want to know about any returned order ID, I can find it in the orders table. Okay. Understand one thing, this particular training program is scenario based. It is completely scenario based. Okay. So we will be embarking some scenarios in the middle of the program. Okay. Now I'll keep on giving questions over here. Now client said, this is your returns table, well and good. I want to know the customers who returned these orders. Who are the customers who returned these particular order IDs? Okay. Who are the customers who returned these order IDs? So in order to know that, I have to do a step over here. In the home, there's an option available called merge queries. Okay. You have to click on this option. Okay. Now merge queries, actually what we are doing is we know that the order ID from the return table will match the order ID from the orders table. Okay, that is a proven fact. We have just checked it. You can see we have joined returns table from orders table on the basis of order ID. Okay, if you could see below, it is showing 296 of 296 rows have matched of the first table. How many records were there in the return table? If you see 296 rows, right? Which means all the returned order ID have found their subsequent order placed ID. All the order IDs that got returned have found their subsequent order ID in orders table. Okay. When they were placed, that ID has been found. They have matched each other. Okay. Now, once you have done that, what you'll do is you click on OK. You can see over here, entire order table will come over here. One second. So now the entire order table has come up over here, right? We only require the name of the customers who return these orders. So what I'll do is I'll click on this double arrow. Over here it will ask, what do you want to expand? I'll say I don't need anything else. I need the customer name who returned these orders because that is what my particular client is asking. Press OK over here and you'll get the customer name. Okay. Now what you can do is you can double click on this thing and remove this thing. And select customer name over here. Now, first thing that you'll observe is, Dhruv, why are we getting so many repetitions over here? The same order ID, why is it getting repeated so many times? Before it wasn't getting repeated, right? Until we had done anything, it was just showing one order ID only once. Now, why is it getting repeated again and again? I'll answer that question too. We'll come to the notepad. Now, take an example of Amazon, right? Now, in Amazon, when you place an order. Okay. Now what happens is in your cart at a time you have 5 items. Okay. 5 items you're having, right? Now when you place the order of these 5 items, right? You get one order ID, right? Now one order ID for 5 items. You can get something like 1001 dash something like this, dash 98885, something like this. So one order ID is generated for when you have 5 items in your cart. Okay, then now you are not at fault in this thing, right? Now what we'll do is we'll come over here, go to our orders table. Now if you could see, I'm storing this data product wise. Okay, I'm storing this particular data product wise. Because I'm storing this data product wise in my orders table, one order ID tends to repeat. Okay. If you could see 5812 is getting repeated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Oh, sorry, 7 times. Okay. Why is it getting 7 times repeated? Because actually it is having 7 products in it. That is the reason. And because we are storing the data product wise, that is the reason it is having repetition. See, if you could see 14336 is getting repeated 1, 2, and 3 times because it has 3 products in it. That is the reason when we come to return table, repetitions are coming. Now, how to avoid these repetitions? You can right click on order ID and say remove duplicates. You can just come over here, right click over here and remove duplicates. Once you do that, back to normal. Okay, you can see all the returned order IDs along with their subsequent customer names. Okay. See, we are seeing the data cleaning techniques. Okay. We are seeing how to arrange for data for the future purposes. Okay. Now we have the order ID and we have the customer name over here. Okay. What next can we do over here? Now client said we want in our order ID, we are having years in it. Okay. See, in real time, you're not building beautiful visualization. Building beautiful visualization is something that can be done in 5 minutes, right? Anybody can tell you. But real time is when we are playing with the data, okay? Cleaning the data. So over here, you can see over here, CA 2016 is mentioned and client says, I want to extract years from these email ID, from this particular order ID so that I can filter the data as per year. I can see 2014 return, 2015 return, and 16 return. Okay. So how to do that? You can click on transform over here. In transform, you have an app option, right? Actually, one thing that you can see over here that is uh, the identifying factor is every year is surrounded by how will you put the condition that it gets only the year. You have to tell some condition now. So the condition that I am going to mention is that year is surrounded by hyphen from both ends. Okay. So I'll say in this particular text, give me that particular part which is surrounded by hyphen from both ends. Okay. So in extract, I have a place to input condition. Okay. You could see the saying text between delimiter. Delimiter are termed to special signs. Okay. So I can click on text between delimiter. Okay. You can see start delimiter and end delimiter. Okay. You have to tell what is the starting of your delimiter, what is the ending of your delimiter. So you can search for this particular hyphen over here. Ending is also in hyphen. Okay. This is the start of your delimiter. This is the ending of your delimiter. And you can see only the year will be extracted now. That's okay. When you do that, what will happen? Your year is getting extracted, but in this process, I lost my order ID. Okay. So now what? I'll delete this step. So whatever step you're applying, all of them are mentioned in applied steps over here. So I want to delete this extract step. I can cut that and we are back to normal. Now I won't use transform. There is one more option over here called add column. The basic difference between transform and add column is transform makes changes to the existing column, while add column will create a subsequent column at the right hand side. So I'll click on add column. Okay. Post that, I'll go to again in add column also you have an extract option available. So in add column you have an extract option available. You say text between delimiter. Okay. I'll mention it as start of the delimiter is also hyphen, end of the delimiter is also hyphen. Okay. So it will give us text between the delimiter, and this time it will not make changes in the existing column. It will create a new column at the right hand side. Okay. You can see text between delimiter. You can rename it to year. And you can keep the data type. You can change from where it's showing ABC. For now, you can keep it as phone number. Now, client can filter the data and see the returns for whichever year wants. He wants for 2017, he can filter it out. Only the returns for 2017 will be visible. Okay. So that is how we have given him an option to filter the data. Okay. We also saw how to extract text from the delimiter. We saw the difference between transform and add column. How do they make change, right? What else can be the requirement from the client? See, we are at the data preparation side. He can ask anything in the data preparation. Okay. Now he can say that customer name is good, but he wants customer name as first name and last name. Okay. He wants it in this fashion. So what we'll do is we'll click on customer name. Okay. Post that, what we'll be doing is we'll click on transform and click on split column. Okay. In the split column option, I'll click on by delimiter. Over here, it is saying split at. So what we are doing is by delimiter means the only special sign that we are having in this thing is wherever you find space, split the column. Okay. We want first name and last name. I'll say leftmost delimiter. Okay. That is the leftmost side. Post that, I'll say leftmost space wherever you find it has automatically selected space over here. Split the column. Okay, I'll press on OK over here. You will see that the column has been split into first name and last name. Okay. So you can select over here first name, and over here you can select it as last name. Okay. This is your order ID. This is your first name, last name, and year. Okay. That is how you are arranging data. Once again. Sometimes they may throw an error, so I'll just read it once. Just first name. And over here, I'll mention it as last name. Okay, everything seems good. Now we are done with the returns table. Let's go to another one. Okay, we see the people table now. Now, what I had conveyed you guys about the people table was that people table is a data sampling table which is holding the information about these particular customers who are belonging to separate region. Okay, one second. So this is a data sampling sort of table. Okay. So what your major concern will be that if we are having the customer name over here, why don't we also have a customer ID? Because that is an important column and customers are recognized on customer ID. I know that the customer ID of these people are existing in the orders table. Now how to bring it over here? I'll click on people table, go to home and click on merge queries option. Click on this merge query option. In the merge query option, I'll say the person from the people table should match the customer name from the orders table, because we know that these customer name have come from person names have come from customer name only.
Okay. If you could see, 4 of 4 rows of the first table have matched. Okay. Which are the 4 rows are these things. Okay. These 4 rows in the person table. Now press OK. You can see this particular table has come up. Now, only thing that I'm requiring right now is the customer ID. So I'll click on customer ID and press OK. Again, repetitions coming. I had told you the reason behind it. We'll right click over here and say remove duplicate. You have the customer name along with the subsequent customer ID. You can just rename it. So we have the person name, people name, customer table has been sorted, people table has been sorted. Now let's go to the orders table. Okay. If you see the orders table, in the orders table also many transformation can be done. See today, whatever transformation we are seeing in the Power Query are very easy, but Power Query in itself is a very diverse tool. Okay, there are many things that we can explore in Power Query, but today we'll be restricting ourselves. Okay, over here we have the shift modes. So client said that there has been immediate changes over here. So we are not calling it over here as standard class. In the next refresh, it will be visible that standard class has been we have started calling it as diamond class. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll right click over here and click on replace values. Okay. We say that we will convert standard class to diamond class. Okay. So replace value is very easy option. Only thing that you have to do is click on whatever you want to replace. Right click on that and say replace values. Okay. In the replace value, you can put whatever you want. So you can replace standard class with diamond class. Okay. Post that you can click on OK. So wherever standard class will be existing in this particular column, it will be replaced with diamond class. Okay. What else can we do over here? We can also play with the segment. So over here in segment, there's an option. So I want to make change in this existing column. So I'll use transform. There's an option called format. Using format, we can uppercase the entire text, capitalize the word, trim, clean. We can also add prefix and suffix. So currently I'm adding a suffix over here where after every segment, I'm leaving a space and mentioning segment. So it should come as consumer segment, corporate segment, like that it should show. So I can add it over here. You can see segment will be visible at the back of this thing on all the places. Okay. What next? So we have seen the segment. The next thing that we can see over here. So we have the segment, country, city. Over here, there are some other things also that we can play. One thing is order date. Okay, order date in itself is also very strong. Okay, in the order date, you can click on order date. You can come to transform. I think it is yeah, in the transform. Make sure that you don't do any changes in transform because it will change the existing column. So go to add column. Now click on this date icon that is showing up. Okay. In this date icon, you can select anything you want. So if you want to extract year out of the date, you can extract year out of the date. At the right hand side, year will come in. Okay. Same way you can extract name of the day. So if you want which day, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it will come up at the right hand corner. Okay. Name of the day. Anything you want, you can extract from this particular thing. Okay. You want the quarter of the year, month name, starting of the month, end of the month, year, week, week of year, everything can be mentioned over here. Okay. That is how strong your particular date is. Okay. Now there is one thing that is very prominent over here is you can also calculate age. In the age part, what you can do is all of a sudden client said that I had given a warranty of 6 months or 6 years on a particular product from the date of order. And I want to check in subsequent, like in the relation to today's date, how many products are under warranty. Okay. So in the date function, you have age over here. You can click on age option. When you click on age option, what it's doing is from the current date, so it is giving you the duration from order date till current date. Now currently it is giving you the duration in days. Okay. You can click on this column and there is an icon coming as duration. Okay. You select the duration as total years. When you do that at the right hand side, it will give you total years column. Okay. In the total years column, when you convert it into whole number, it will round up the values or round down accordingly. Now you can see from the year of purchase till today's date, how many years have passed. Okay. All these small things you can do at the transformation side of data. See, we haven't started with the Power BI yet. We're just cleaning the data yet. Okay. We'll keep it till here. Okay. Next thing that I'll do is I'll click on file once I'm done with the transformation. In the home also you'll see a close and apply option, or you can click on file and close and apply. Close and apply means whatever changes you have done in the data, you want to apply it. Close it will start loading the data into Power BI. So you can see the data will start load. So it has started to load, right? Order, people, return. It's loading to Power BI. Guys, is anybody experiencing any volume issues? I hope the volume is okay. Okay, thank you. So we have taken the Power BI data and has loaded it into our Power BI visualization app. Okay. Now the next thing that we'll be doing is, so you can see in the field option, you can see that your data has been loaded. You have a data view with proper tables. Okay. And you have a model view, data model. Okay. Now what you can do is whatever pre-created relationships have been made, you can delete them. Acha, we will be discussing about relationship in detail in the coming time, so don't worry about that. Okay, we will be talking about the modeling and relationship in detail. For now, as per your general understanding, you can create joins. Okay, so you can click on orders over here and you can click on returns. Okay, the joins that you can create over here is you can join people table on the basis of customer ID. This is basic understanding. We also know that order and people will join on the basis of customer ID. You can just drag and drop. I'll explain this in detail, so don't go much detail into this. And returns will join from order table on the basis of order ID. Okay, this is just a basic join that I'll expect you guys to create. That's it, nothing major. Okay, now we saw the process of loading data from Excel. Okay, we'll also see how to connect through our particular SQL Server and web. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll be closing this file now. Okay, we have loaded the data, seen how to load it. Now I'll be connecting it to different sources. Okay, so I'll close this file. We are not coming to visualizations yet. Okay, first we'll see the loading of data today through different sources, then we'll go further. So currently what we are seeing at is Power Query and loading of data in Power BI, okay, from different sources. So how to connect through SQL Server is the next question. So I have SQL Server Management Studio running in my PC. So I'll just open it parallelly so that I can show you how to connect through SQL Server. Open the SSMS. This is your SQL Server Management Studio. Only thing that you require over here is your server name for now. Okay. I am not doing it for the first time. Maybe for the first time, it will ask you for authentication code. You can mention that authentication of your SQL Server password. You can also use Windows authentication in order to, if you don't want to input any sort of password, you have to click on Get Data. In Get Data, you have an option called SQL Server. Okay. So you have to click on SQL Server, mention your server name. Okay. And see over here, this is your server name. Now, database is something that is optional. Okay. There are two modes available in SQL Server, that is import and direct query mode. Okay. For Excel, only one mode is available, that is import mode. Now, what is the difference between import and direct query? Okay. Let's see the working of it first. Now, if I say import is something in which I'm connecting through a different source. So let's take an example. I have a person, so there is a person A and B. Okay. A is asking for some data. Okay. So take an example. A is using import mode to ask for data. Now what B does is B brings the entire data and dumps it in A's house, right? In A's some sort of repository. Okay. He'll bring the entire data and dumps it at A's house, right? Now what happens is this entire data will lie now locally at A's place. Okay. We can say that whenever he requires anything, he can pull it from his house itself. So when we were creating or connecting through an Excel data source and we clicked on import option. Okay. When we clicked on import option, what actually happened was all the data came from Excel and resided into my Power BI report. Okay. It loaded into my Power BI report. Locally, my Power BI report had the entire data moved from Excel in it. Okay. So it was having the data in it. Okay. Now in SQL Server, you have two modes. So normally what happens, SQL Server is a DB, right? Here you can use two modes. In every DB, I think most of the DB supports import and direct query. So import we have already understand. So when I use import mode, entire data will come to my particular PBIX. PBIX is the extension format of your Power BI report. Okay. So entire data will come. Eventually it will make my report heavy, right? Obviously, when you load the entire data, even if you're using Excel or you're using a SQL Server, when you click on import, the entire data will be loaded to the report. So it will make your report heavy. Okay. Though it is faster. Okay. Why is it faster? Because it's just like all the data is in your report itself, right? But the refresh is something that will be slow. By refresh, I mean with time your report will become heavy and it will take a lot of time to load. Okay, that is a very common feature. If any app, even if in your phone you see your WhatsApp has a lot of data, right? Media in it, right? When you try to open your WhatsApp, it will load very slowly, right? Same way, import report is like that only. When you have a lot of data in it, okay, it will become slow, but comparatively, there is another mode called direct query. Okay, direct query is a mode in which the data is not dumped in the report. The data is not dumped in the report. So if I say I and a person, like I and you guys are talking on call, right? Say that we are talking on call. Till the time we are connected on call, the exchange of information is happening. You can ask me questions, I can answer that. Once the call is disconnected, so right now you are recording this call, right? Normally what happens once the call is disconnected, you're not left with any data with you, right? Direct query is also something like this.
till the time dot your PBIX is connected through DB, exchange of data can happen. Okay, only exchange of data. Data never resides in PBIX. Okay, never resides in PBIX. Only exchange of data is happening till the time connection is established. It's just like phone call. Okay. Now, why would anybody use DQ? Obviously, in direct query, the report are lighter. Why? Because it is not holding the actual data. It is just a report which is having a schema of it. When you connect to data source, it will only pull the data. So I'll show you what is the major difference between a direct query report and an import mode. Okay. So if you see currently I'm using import mode. Okay. I'm using import database. I have not mentioned. I've just mentioned the server name and said import. Acha, also one more thing is there in your SQL Server database, you have an option to put query over here. If you want to load data with a query, like you have to write a function, apply filters or anything, you can write a proper query over here. Okay, this will be abided by the particular command that you use. Okay. No, see, understand one thing. Any changes made in PBI will never reflect database. Understand one thing. Even in DQ or import, this thing is very certain that whatever changes you make in data, you are not making it at database level, you are making it as report level. Understand? You never hinder the data. When you are making any changes in import also, na, you are making that changes for the report. Understand? What will happen is data will always come in raw format. Okay. It will come in raw format, see your formatting and accordingly change. Okay. So what is happening is whatever formatting we are applying are the steps. It's just like when you enter a very VIP person's house, there are some standard protocols that you have to follow. Remove your shoes, get it checked, remove your phones, leave all your particular belongings. These are some formats, right? Same way, data will come always in the same format. Making any changes in the report won't change database either in import or in direct query. Okay, only thing is you are setting some standard protocol for the data for coming in future purposes also. Okay, but you never hinder the database. Getting it? So now what is happening is when I click on import mode, you'll see it will show me the different DBs. Okay, you'll see the DB. There are the different DBs that are inside my SQL Server. I'll use AdventureWorks. Select some particular tables. These are 2, 3 tables that I'm selecting. And I'll just save some time. I'll not transform right now. I'll directly click on load. Okay. Now currently keep in mind, I've used import mode. Okay. In import mode, I had said that the data will come to my PC, occupy space inside my PC. First, I'll show you the import mode. Then I'll show you the direct query also. Let it load once. Okay. So if you could see over here, the data has loaded. This is the data view. Okay. These are 3 data views. Okay. Over here, we are having the data model. Okay. So you can see first thing you want to recognize the data like particular model, right? Anyways, if ever you want to recognize the data model or you want to see that whether this report is an import report or not, you just need to check over here. Import report will always have data in the data view. Now I'll show you a direct query report also. Okay, I'll close this report and this time I'll connect using direct query. Direct query, if you will see, will not have any data in it. See, I'll just close this one. This was a normal import mode. Now we'll see DQ mode. Okay.
Click on Excel. I'm so sorry. Uh, Cancel this. Click on Get Data. Again, SQL Server. Mention the server name over here and click on Direct Query this time. Okay. Press OK. So now it will give you an option to choose the DB, and from the DB you'll be choosing whatever tables you require. Okay. I've taken these three tables and I'll click on load. The first thing that you see disappearing is the data view. There will be no data view in direct query because actually there is no data coming up. You can see over here only report view and the model view. Okay, no data view. Why? Because I said now physically data is not coming in your Power BI. Till the time you are connected through the SSMS, you can fetch the data, but you cannot make any changes. So you can see in the fields, you can drop the data, no problem. Okay, the data is there, but is actually happening because of the connectivity. Okay, so that is the reason client prefers direct query over import because the reports are lighter because they don't hold the data in. Okay, this is the difference between import and direct query. Import holds the entire data, loads it into their particular PBI, while direct query will establish a connection between the two. Okay, these are the difference between import and direct query. We also saw parallel to this how to load data from SQL Server. Okay, I'll close this thing. Next thing that we are looking at how to load data from a website. Okay, from an internet website. So I'll just show that to you also. We'll be taking one random website like holiday website. So I have a holiday website which is having the list of holidays for 2020. Okay, this is this website. So what you can do is you can copy this entire website link. I'll paste it in your chat also so that you guys can use it. Okay. This is the website which is having the list of holidays. Okay. There's one thing about Power BI, it can only fetch data from a website when table is there. So currently this is the table. Okay. So it is able to fetch data from this particular table. Okay. So you can select any particular year. Currently 2022, you can select 2022. Okay. Copy the link of the website. Once you have copied, you can come over here, go to get data. Okay. In get data, you can click on web. Hmm. Mention this link. You can see we are mentioning 2022. I mentioned. Okay. Once you're done with this, you can click on OK. So we'll just wait for the preview to come up. So you can see this is showing us a preview over here. One second, please. Normally what happens, there could be a possibility that some HTML table come up, but normally it is showing up this first table. We'll select this one. Okay. This is the holiday observance data.
As expected, this is coming from a website, so we don't expect it to be the most clean manner. So what I'll do is I'll click on transform data. Over here, we are having some values. So what you can do is you can click on this and remove the null part. Press OK. For null, we need to remove. Now, how did we do it? I'll show it again if it's too fast. So I'll just click on this arrow and there are a lot of null coming. So I'll say remove nulls. I'll press OK and the null part will go. Okay. Same way we have dates over here. This is the day name. So I'll just name the column day name. Okay. These are the holidays. Holiday. And this is the type of holiday. Okay. Once you are done with this thing, you can click on close and apply. So we saw how to connect and load data from a holiday website. Okay. You can see that this particular website is loading. Just a second. So we can see over here, this has been created, right? We are having the data view, right? Data view. So today what we saw was, we saw the intro to Power BI. Okay. Introduction to Power BI. I'll just open a new sheet. Okay. Then we saw how to load data from Excel, SQL, and web. Post that we see is the difference between direct query versus import. And we saw how to work on Power Query. That is our ETL equivalent to Power BI. Okay. Any questions on the part that we have covered today, team? Anything that you like to ask? So you can have a Q&A or any doubts that you have faced today. You can mention it now. Guys, please feel free to ask if you have any questions. Dataset has been provided for Excel. Okay, so you can share the drive link. In the drive link itself, the dataset is available. Anything else that you would like to know about the Power BI download or anything? Tomorrow, most probably, we'll be looking to the daily agenda, so you can follow through from the agenda itself.
Yes, tomorrow the class will be there. Guys, if you have any questions, anything, you can ask. If you don't have any questions, you can feel free to drop now. Thank you for joining in today. Thank you. What error is it coming? Unable to connect. So if some sort of error is coming, just search that error code online if possible. Or if it persists, okay, go for a lower version of Power BI. So what you can do is, if it is showing that error, just do one thing, copy that error code and search on Google. Most of the errors will be solved in the forum. Or you can talk to the admin team. I think admin team will help you with the error, okay, of ExcelR. You can do it by your own self also or ask the admin team, they'll help. Okay, thank you.
Regarding certification, you can talk the management. Visualization is tomorrow class. Yeah, we'll be going through visualization.